So everyone and their mom has been playing Pokemon Go. Even my mom. And she's kicking my ass. So, I went and got a bike and a bunch of bike gear. I've been putting in the legwork. And if I did the math right, which I almost never do, I've done about 17 miles on this bike playing Pokemon Go. And I feel like I'm still getting my ass kicked, but we're this close. This close. Catch them all, go to the park, beat the gyms, kids up. Let's do it.
Fish. Nope.
So I had someone ask me to do some painting on one of these videos, and I thought I could include some head casts I've been working on. So we got a couple here I'm going to just work on. Not going to promise to finish them on camera, because I'd rather do quality work than try to rush it or something just for the video. But so I'll try to do that. If you're wondering where you can get some head casts, there's a lot of guys in the community who do head casts, and I buy from a few of them. Not all of them, because some guys are newer and their quality is not up to par yet, but a lot of guys are very reliable. Of course, the guy I buy from the most recently is our man Dave over at Star Wars Geek Customs. He does casts, and he's doing a lot more 6-inch stuff now. He used to primarily do 1/18 scale stuff. So Dave's always reliable, great seller, great caster, great products. A lot of custom products that you can't find anywhere else. And while I'm painting, I like to listen to podcasts such as They're Not Dolls by the Toy Migos, aka Cheney 180 and the Fallen Fett. Some local homies here. I really enjoy theirs. Or of course you can catch me and the crew on the Triple C podcast, or guest starring on the ACBA podcast now and again. But yeah, I've said it before, one-stop place to shop. You go to the community, you can get some custom head casts for your figures, and listen to some sweet podcasts from, more community members while you paint them up. So let's do it to it. Footage, I noticed it looked like I wasn't doing too much per se, but I was really fine-tuning all the details, and that's usually what takes the longest. The time for customs or painting or anything is kind of disproportionate. Like the first 50% of the whole project you can get done really quickly, and then the last 50% you feel like you're just trudging through because you're just constantly, having to really focus on details, go back and touch things up, etc., etc. So I apologize if it looked like I was just not doing too much, but I really was tightening it up, But this was a commission. I'm trying to finish up the rest of these so I can get these out. But just a beat up hammerhead. We had talked about what we could do with this head, like turning it into a goon, and I was just like, I don't think so, man. Like, this hammerhead dome, props to anyone that can turn this into anybody else, but I was like, nah, that's staying hammerhead, so let's see what else we can do. So we just beat him up a little bit. I tried to be strong and hold out, but I'm weak and fleshy. So I went with my wife to Target for her eye exam so she could get some new glasses. I went to the back and they had reset their toy sections. And of course, I asked for X-Men. They didn't have them on the peg and they couldn't find them in the back even though they said they had some. So they said just to check back later in the week. Maybe they got lost. I don't know. Hopefully there's not, an employee who's stashing them or something. But anyways, well, I had time to kill. I saw they put out the exclusive sets. So I got to check out the Civil War set in person. And, I figured, well, if I'm going to look at them, might as well look at the one with the best paint. So I picked that up. Then I thought, since I'm here, might as well walk to the front and show my wife. And I went up there and the exam was taking longer than they had planned. So we sat in the waiting area and I was like, well, since I'm here, might as well check this set out while I'm sitting here. So then she comes out, I show her, and she's like, let's get some groceries. I'm like, alright, cool. So we go shopping, go to the front, and I'm like, well, since I'm already here, I might as well cop the set, right? So anyways, I did price match to Amazon and use my red card, so I got it under retail after tax and everything, but I did get this set. I was going to hold out, basically, until these went on sale, because these are going to be everywhere. They have them on like Entertainment Earth, Amazon, Big Bad Toy Store, Target, Toys R Us. There might even be more places that have them. But, I had to cop it. Spider-Man. Of course. And I do like this Iron Man. I mostly wanted his effects though. So I mostly wanted Spider-Man and the effects. The shield's okay. The head's okay. Something I noticed though is that none of them come with alternate hands. Like, people were talking about Spider-Man not having alternate hands, but this Iron Man doesn't have the fist, and Cap doesn't have the pointing hand and the saluting hand. So I'm not sure why they did that. I mean, for $60 retail, that's 20 each. That's full retail price. You should be getting the same accessories, if not more, because it's, you know, you're buying a box set. But, you know, whatever. So let's check it out. Alright, so this set's okay. Technically I only have one figure from the set in the setup, the Spider-Man. But it's cool. Spider-Man's cool. Same issues that a lot of other Spider-Mans have had. They are not painting the insides of the pegs to match blue. And they didn't include alternate hands. So right here I have the Amazing Spider-Man 2 hand on there. It's the closest match you're going to get. The Ultimate Spider-Man pegs will fit, but the hands don't match at all. These hands, they match okay, maybe a little bit small, and they're a little bit brighter reds, but if you did a dark wash on it, it would match better. Because this figure actually is just red with a heavy dark wash. Especially, you can even see in this line right here on the neck where it just totally bled out before it dried. So it's got, like, it's not just the black wash within the sculpted webs, it's like tinted the whole figure, which is why he's a lot darker. And it's kind of a weird choice because in the movie it was probably the brightest Spider-Man costume we got. He was like bright red. He almost looked like animated, even though most of the time he wasn't. It actually was an actor in a suit, but it was so bright and you know, just the way it read on camera, it looked very fake almost. And for the figure they went opposite. They did a more like gritty, realistic look. It's a nice figure. The range of motion is great. A little bit weird in the legs, like the hips can move a lot, but it's kind of tricky getting him into certain crouching positions. I know it doesn't make sense, especially when I'm not even moving him, but yeah, proportions are a little bit weird. I think the torso and everything was too big, so rather than making him look like a teenager, he just kind of looks like a stumpy man, like a skinny Wolverine in a Spider-Man suit. So, you know, I'm still hoping for a movie accurate figure, maybe from Figuarts. But for what it is, this figure's nice. I like having it. Of course, another Spider-Man. And if you look really close, which you probably can't even see in here, he does have the sculpted, like the lenses, the, what do you call them, like shutter lenses, I guess, like on a camera, you know, like the aperture. So that was pretty cool. And this is the Civil War wave Iron Man with the Tony Stark head. And I'm going to swap these out when I grab the other two figures in a second. But they are a little bit different. The plastics, this is a much brighter red. The other one is molded in a darker, more, not exactly like a candy red, but it's like got some kind of, like this looks very flat and plasticky, and the other one is a little more dynamic. But the head, you know, obviously fits both. And this head will fit on a suited body, but if you put it all the way on, it looks like he doesn't have a neck. So you just kind of want to rest it on top of the ball peg, and it'll look right. And I thought this head looked kind of like, you know, whatever. But then when I put it on the suited body, it did kind of sell it more for me. So I do like it. I mean, obviously I'm going to keep it, and different Tony Stark head to have, so you're not using the same one in every display. But decent. Alright, moving on. Alright, here we got the other two from the set. Battle Damaged Captain America and Iron Man. You know, they're just repaints of previous figures we got. And I've seen a lot of people talking about how Spider-Man doesn't have the swappable hands, but I noticed once I opened the set, none of them do. Like, this Iron Man doesn't come with the fists that the Civil War Wave one does. And this Captain America doesn't come with the saluting hand and the pointing hand. And now that I said that out loud, I'm not sure if I already said that in the previous thing I recorded, so if I repeated myself, I apologize. But, they're okay. I wish, if they're doing battle damage, I wish they would have gone all out. It's just paint. It's just like a black airbrush spray with some silver dry brushing and speckling. And it looks decent, but if they were going to do battle damage, I would have wanted them to go all out. Like the Spider-Man Classics, the very first wave, with that battle damage Spider-Man from the Torment storyline, where he's just like tore up. And that's something Toy Biz used to do well, was battle damaged figures, and a lot of people have kind of wanted that from Hasbro, actually, because we usually don't get things like that anymore. So it would have been nice to have, like, actual like chunks out of it, or just different types of sculpted detail. But for what it is, it's okay. The shield actually looks pretty nice. And the main reason I wanted this set besides Spider-Man was the effects. I wanted the 2 blue effects because Hasbro was kind of sneaky on this one. You kind of need the regular Giant Man, Civil War Wave, Iron Man, and then this one, so you could have a complete set of blue effects for one Iron Man. And then the orange ones are more kind of like blasts or explosion type things. So I really wanted the effects and everything, and I'm glad to have them. So here I'm trying something out just to see, if it would work, and I actually kind of like it. I just used the base of the orange effects and put one on Cap's foot, one on Iron Man's back. So it looks like, he's rolling and kicking him in the gut, and he's kind of feeling the impact of that. Maybe, yeah, in the behind the scenes video, which you can watch in the corner here, you can see the posing a little bit better. It looks a little weird in this main video right here, but I'm not really too sure on this posing, actually. It's one of those things, like, I was even acting it out in my head and just kind of thinking about it, like, oh yeah, that'd be cool, like he rolls over and kicks him. And then it's one of those things where, like, you pose it out and you're looking at it and you just can't put your finger on it, but it just doesn't look right. Like, something looks weird. And that's usually when I defer to someone. I'll send a picture and be like, hey, like, what do you think about this? Like, you see something weird here? And 9 times out of 10 they'll be like, yeah, Michael, you done goofed. But this is NSA. I actually got, so Iron Man's balanced on a heel and a toe, and then Cap, his waist is on this foot's toe, and his foot's on his torso right there, so they're kind of like counterbalancing out. So that was kind of cool, but I was mainly just doing this to try out the effect. I don't think this is like a great shot per se or anything, but I like it. Overall, don't waste your money. Pick up this set on clearance, or if you have a coupon or something. And like I probably stated before, I did price match this and use my Target Red card, so I got this set under retail price. Yeah, it's kind of ridiculous because they're charging you $20 each, so like full retail value, even though, the whole point of a box set is to get a better deal for buying more. So they're charging you the full price, but then you don't even get the full amount of accessories. Like for this Cap, you're missing 2 hands. For Iron Man, you're missing 2 hands, but they gave you 2 effects and a head. Spider-Man, no extra hands, no head. So it's, I don't like seeing this. It's a downward slope for companies, because a company, they're here to make money. They're here to put out products and make money. It's what they do. But you start seeing them make more and more small decisions, and people have the notion like, oh, well, they're not going to keep doing this. They're going to do good. They're going to do good. No, the incentive is money. They, a lot of the guys work there on a personal level. They love the figures. They love the characters. They like what they do, and they think it's cool. But, the people who make the big decisions and everything, this is purely a business. That's what it is. So if they can put out a 3-pack with less accessories for the same price, save on production costs, they're gonna do it. And just like people just started showing the leaked sets of the supposed Disneyland exclusive, where you're getting Captain America, Iron Man, the War Machine, this one from that 2-pack, and the Walmart Falcon in a 4-pack at Disney for $80. Again, that's $20 each. That's full retail value for figures that you're getting 2, 3, 4 times. And I just don't like where this is going. Not saying that, you know, it's going to happen in the next couple months or year or whatever, but the bigger and more successful this line does, the more they're just not going to put in effort, because why? You know, why would you work more if you can get the same turnout for less work? It just makes business sense to do, you know, the least amount required. So just, you know, let these companies know how you feel, you know, let them know what you like. If you don't like a product, if you think they're screwing with you, don't buy it. Or, you know, wait until a store clearances it out. Because if Target can't sell these and they clearance them and then, you know, you scoop them up, Target is going to give them hell, like, hey, why are you giving us these products that we can't move? And they're going to order less next time. And it's going to hit these companies a lot harder than if you said, oh, well, I'm boycotting it, I don't want to buy this set. That's not the way to do this, because you lose, they win, doesn't make a difference. But if the companies like Target, Walmart, all them are telling them like, hey, we're going to start ordering less because people aren't buying these things and we're losing money on it, then they're going to pay attention, because it's a bigger dent in their wallet, you know. And this is not to say stick it to these companies, because these companies are doing good. They're making a lot better stuff than they were years ago. But you can't let it get to their head, can't let them get too big in their britches, because then they'll do whatever they want and they just won't care anymore. And we've seen it with a lot of companies, and I mean anything. You see it in any form of power. I mean, you know, in a school system, government, anything. As soon as someone starts getting away with too much, they're just going to keep cutting the corners until you have a problem. And I'm not saying we have a problem now, it's just let's come together as a community before we have a problem. That being said, they got me. I mean, they rope-a-doped me. They knew I was going to cop for Spidey alone. So, I mean, come on. God, you know what? Before I wrap this up, I was just looking through Tom Holland's Instagram last night. And I'm pretty sold on him as Peter Parker. I really liked Andrew Garfield a lot, but then the more I rewatch those stuff, I just think like, he's a little too cocky, a little too arrogant, a little too cool. Like, Peter's a nerd. He's not like a cool nerd, like a hipster. He was like just straight up like, people did not like him. And just seeing stuff that Tom Holland's doing and how he's like taking care of his brothers and stuff. Really good kid, you know. I'm really glad that he's Spider-Man now, and I'm so excited for the Homecoming movie. You know, I hope they kill it, and it'll be the Spider-Man movie we've been waiting for. You know, we've gotten a lot of Spider-Man movies. They've been good, they've been fun, entertaining, but I still feel like we're waiting for the Spider-Man movie. So, here's hoping that he rocks it out.
Let's go. Wow. Yes. Very nice. And then, like I said, I'm very shocked of all that they kept showing that they're coming out with. Red Skull, like you said, Darkseid, that's just, wow. Yeah. This is a very good figure.
It's
very,
amazing,
very nice.
right?
Yes. So now you're saying that the Harley Quinn, did it show what she's going to come with, or did it just show her on the stand? So that's what I saw. Everybody was taking, so they